What is up, YouTube? It is your guy KJ, and today's video is going to be a little different. It's not kind of like a structured video where I'm giving you a blueprint. No, I'm going to tell you about my UFL tryout experience. Now, if you've been following this channel, you've known I've had like kind of a series of paths to the UFL. So in episodes of me training, grinding, my mindset, expectations, and everything, and finally that day has come. Last week, I competed in a UFL showcase down in Washington, D.C. And it was pretty game changing. I'm not gonna lie. It was really good experience. Now I'm gonna dive into kind of like what happened and what I do and all that everything. But really just looking back at it, it was more so like I'm proud to say, like, you know what? I put myself in a position to be seen, because I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes going in, I started doubting myself. When you have a lot of time between some big event that you're planning, sometimes you might doubt yourself. And a couple of times I was doubting myself too. I was like, I don't know if I can do this, or am I actually gonna get a chance? Am I wasting my time? But through all that, you know, I say, hey, stop being a you know what and do it. So when I went, it started like, you know, around like the middle of the day. I think defense went first, and obviously I'm offense, I'm a running back. We went later in the day around like noonish. So it lasted from like noon to 4:30. So now how the UFL showcase went is pretty much like an NFL combine. So imagine a combine, but a bit different. Not as much, like obviously not as grand. And also we didn't get as many reps. So usually NFL combine, you get 2 reps. You get 2 reps to everything. UFL showcase, you get 1 rep. So you have to make sure that you are ready. You cannot waste no time. You can't play around. You get 1 shot. Even like the drills, because there's so many people. It was kind of, they want an open trial, but it was a certain amount of spots that had to get filled. So for my position group, running backs, we had like probably like 40 to 50 running backs, I'm gonna be honest. So total of like on the field drills, probably did like a total of 4 reps, catching the ball and doing all that. So it wasn't really that much to go into. It was more so you have to be ready, which I appreciate a lot of you guys, is that some of you guys might not have the opportunities you have on a football field, but just know you will get opportunity. You don't know when, but you will. The problem is that, are you gonna be ready or are you not gonna be ready? So going into this, once I heard that, I talked to my agent. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, you gotta be ready. You get 1 shot. So I had to make sure I was ready for everything. And to be honest, I surprised myself because I didn't disappoint. The first drill that we went into, we warmed up as a group, everything. I kind of like that, you know, kind of building like kind of chemistry with guys you don't know. You don't know none of these guys. Some guys, they're coming from all over different parts of the country. You got some of the guys who are coming from big schools like Oregon, Penn State. You got some guys like me who's just trying to come from maybe a smaller school, a small D1, a D2, and they're still trying to make their dreams come true. So we went to testing my group. The first thing we did was the broad jump. And I'll be honest, I surprised myself. I jumped an 11-1 broad jump. I never jumped that far in my life, ever. Like afterwards, like I'm thinking, okay, like my pro day, I did 10-8, and that was after months of training and a lot of preparation. And be honest, this time I wasn't really preparing, like be honest, I wasn't preparing like how I was for my pro day. Pro day, you're really focused on drills every day. This was more so I was just training. Always been a guy who just works out and always stayed in shape and ate good food. So I wasn't necessarily like specifically training, because I didn't even know what we were gonna do. It wasn't really specific details of what exactly. I had an idea, but it wasn't specific details. So my first jump, I go out there, I'm like, okay, man, like, you know, I jumped 10-3. If I just get over 10 feet, I'll be good. And I jumped an 11-1. Now compare that, some of you guys will go, wow, what does that compare? Give you an example. The NFL Combine this past year, the furthest jump was done by Quinshawn Judkins, who had a 11-foot broad jump as running backs. And then the best overall in the whole combine was 11-4, I think, or 11-6, something like that. So I jumped 11-1 on my first try. Now, for those who don't understand, is that usually when you do like jumping, like vert jumps and broad jumps, usually your second jump is always gonna be better. So imagine if I had 2 tries, I possibly could have got even further than that. But as soon as I did that, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm feeling different. And I made sure I showed up in great shape. Like I'm in the best shape of my life. I've never been as lean and strong or explosive as I am right now. But I jumped an 11-1, and that caught everybody's attention. It caught scouts' attention. It caught people like, oh man, like who is this guy? Who, like, you know, first you don't know, nobody knows really who is who. They might look at the papers before and see, all right, guys come from big schools, or guys come for this, or they have a name or something like that. But I don't have a name. Nobody, like, you know, like I'm not no big top recruit or anything like that. But I jumped an 11-1, and I definitely put people on notice. So then we went to the L drill. L drill, I did a 6'9", which is pretty good. If you get under 7 seconds, that's pretty solid. I want to say my best all-time L drill is a 6'8". So for a guy who wasn't really training the L drill, wasn't really working on it that much, I would take a 6'9" any day. Now we get to the big thing. You know, the big the big drill that everybody talks about is the 40-yard dash. And I've talked on this channel plenty of times how I run a 4.340. I told you about how I ran in college. I'm an explosive guy. But even on my pro day, I had clocked that my cumulative time was a 4.5 flat. So if you look at KJ Howard pro day, I ran a 4.5 flat. Now, do I think I have 4.5 speed? No, absolutely not. My start is literally my weakest point when it comes to the 40-yard dash. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm a smaller, explosive guy, but for some reason, something about the 40-yard dash doesn't feel natural to me, and I just don't have the best start. So my cumulative on my pro day was a 4.5 flat, and my best was a 4.48. And my best all time is a 4.38 that I ran in college when I was at Ohio University during spring testing of 2024. So once again, you get one shot. You don't get a second shot. You run, what you run is what you run. You don't get no redos unless you like mess up or false start, they might let you, but you get one full rep. And just like the broad jump, usually your second attempt is going to be better. But knowing you don't have a second attempt, you have to run that first attempt as best as possible. Now, when I ran my 40, you don't know your times. Outside of like broad jump where you obviously have the ruler right there, you can see. The other times, you don't know what you ran. Like even like my Elger, I didn't know what I ran until they sent the results through the email. But when I ran my 40, I had no idea. I know I ran fast. People would be like, man, like, you know, you looked fast, you ran fast. And I know I'm a fast guy, but I don't know exactly like how fast. We talking 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, or 4.5 like I did on my pro day. Like we don't know what. Even when I ran a 4.5 on my pro day, people say, man, you were flying. And I'm like, man, I ran a 4.5 flat. That's not good for me. I know I'm way faster than that. And then talking to some of the other guys, you know, guys like, man, you might probably run like a low 4.5 or high 4.4. So I'm like, man, like, I guess I didn't look that fast. But when I got my results back, not even results back, I didn't even know what I ran. It was on Instagram. Somebody had DM'd me. Shout out to the guy on Instagram who DM'd it to me. But they said, man, like I had the UFL, how they do it is they post the performances, and my 40-yard dash was for like the second best in the whole showcase, the whole tryout, and the best for running backs. And I ran a 4.37. Yes. And there just ain't no cap. Like UFL League posted on their Instagram. It got taken down. I don't know why. I don't know why it got taken down. They showed all the results just so you don't think I'm lying. They had posted like my broad jump. I had the best broad jumping out of everybody. 11.1, the best broad jump out of everybody, and I had the second fastest 40, the best 40 for running back, a 4.37. I'm telling you guys, man, I got legit 4.3 speed, and I made sure I showed up. I made sure I was in the best shape, even better shape than I was at my pro day. I lost a little weight just to cut down. You know what? I want to be fast and explosive. I'm not carrying dead weight that's not going to help me out, because it's not my game. I'm a guy in space. I'm a guy. I mean, I'm not 5'6". I measure 5'6", 165. I'm not a big dude. So I got to look at guys like Tyreek Hills and, you know, Deuce Vaughns and Rondale Moores, those guys who fit my archetype, my player, you know, saying you gotta have a player comp, find your player comp, and then find ways to be like them, but in your own version. So I cut weight, because I don't need to be 175. I don't need to be 180, even though that's what I usually play at in like actual games. I lost weight to make sure that, hey, I know my niche, I know who I am, and I ran a 4.37. Even then, not working on my 40 starts. I wasn't trained. I worked like before the week of. I was working on my 40 starts, but going into it, I wasn't like I said, pro day, you're working months and months on that 40. And once again, my start is not for some reason, I feel like I run a faster 40 if I start from a 2-point stance. I'm so serious because it just feels more explosive, more natural. But I ran a 4.37. I tell you guys, man, like, you know, speed is something you can get better at. Speed is something that you can work on each time. And that's something I always like really focus on this year, is just get faster. I'm already a fast guy, but guess what? I know my strengths. I'm going to make my strengths even better. So I ran a 4.37, and then we got the position where it's easy for me. Catching the ball, I played receiver at Ohio University. I know how to catch the ball. I worked on my hands. I can run good routes. So I look good in the drills and everything. So overall, man, I performed really well. It even surprised me. I wasn't expecting 4.3. I'll be honest, I was expecting like, okay, if I get a 4.4, that's pretty solid. Mid 4.4s, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be happy with that. But a 4.37 and 11.1 broad jump, man, if anything, like that definitely put me in the shot to get signed. And I'm not saying I haven't talked to nobody, anything like that, but just like knowing like I put myself in the best position. And that's what it's all about, is that, you know, put yourself in the best position. When the opportunity comes, are you ready? So I put myself in the best position for that opportunity. Now I can't control if I get signed or not. That's out of my control, but I can control my preparation. I can't control how I can't control how I show up. To be honest, with some guys who are showing up, I'm like, yo, like you a receiver and you got like a beer belly popping out your shirt. We got these tight shirts. So, you know, if you need tight shirts, if you got any type of body fat, extra body fat that's overflowing, it's gonna show. So I'm like, man, like how can you like show up like this and think that, like, you know, you give yourself the best opportunity opportunity like showing up to the trial like that or anything like that. So I made sure I was in great shape and opportunity comes. Now, will I get signed? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, if I do, man, you come back to this channel and believe, hopefully I give you motivation that, hey, you can be a guy down here and still find opportunities. And even if I don't, that's okay, because I don't value myself on results. I value myself on actions. I made plenty of videos on this channel talking about focus on actions than results. I wake up every day and I'm just like, you know what? Did I become the best version of myself every day? Did I put myself in a position to be successful, to reach my ideal self? The person that I go to sleep, the person I dream about myself of becoming. Am I getting closer to that or am I getting worse? So if I get signed, then yeah, I know what, but it doesn't change my mindset. And if I don't, guess what? It doesn't change my mindset because I become better. I become faster. I become more, I'll make myself so good that they can't ignore you. Cal Newport, if I don't know if you guys are readers, but basically the premise is that a lot of guys, they think they gotta go chase and they think they gotta like go grab the opportunity, take it. But how about you reverse engineer that? How about you become so good that people look stupid for not accepting you? Just imagine, just think, is Barry Sanders, Chris Saquon, like, do they gotta chase coaches or chase anybody to want them? No, they're so good, people chase them. And that's what you want to have. You want to become so good that they can't ignore you. And that's my goal. I want to be so successful in life, in football, in business, in anything, content creation. I want to become so good that you have no choice but to like me. You have no choice but to want to join my training programs. You have no choice but to sign me to your football roster. So that's the mindset I always have. And I wake up every day finding ways to get better. If you're a running back and you're a guy out there and you might not be playing right now, understand. It's immediate feedback. It's a good thing. It's a blessing in disguise. My time not starting high school, during that time, they like, man, like, I'm not that good. I'll never be good. I'm thinking everything was just like, either I always used to believe like either you got it or you don't. You can't improve. You can't become the person you want to be, which wasn't the right mindset to have. But now looking back at it, I would never develop the work ethic I have now. I would never have, learned so much I feel like I've learned so much from where I was in high school to where I'm at now that I'm ahead of like a lot of guys when it comes to just like the mindset. And like even right now, I'm able to, at my young age, able to mentor and coach guys and be able to give guys feedback that actually translate. A lot of people don't learn that until they're way further down in life. I'm learning at a young age and I'm never gonna stop learning. And I'm sharing my experience with you guys so you can become better. So looking back at it, I'm like, you know what, like that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Me not playing in high school was the best thing that ever happened to me. My JUCO season, my last year JUCO, getting injured was the best thing that ever happened to me because it allowed me to reevaluate and get back on focus. Yeah, it sucked at the moment, but full picture, I got even better from it. I learned more. I analyzed. It was feedback, immediate feedback. I failed forward. Don't look at failure as the worst thing ever. I used to look at failure as, you know what, you're not supposed to fail. The best people in the world, the smartest people, the best athletes, they never fail. But in reality, the best who do it fail more than the average. It's just that when they win, their wins are so monumental that it cancels out all the failures. I always say, Thomas Edison took him 9,000 tries to create the light bulb. Throughout all those hundreds and thousands of times, he was just a failure, okay? But he turned into one of the greatest inventors ever because he looked at failure as an opportunity. He learned from it. He become better. And that's what you can learn too, is that you're an athlete. You might not be playing. You might not be who you want to be. Guess what? It's immediate feedback. I can get better. I'm not good enough. How can I become so good that they can't ignore me, that they have like force them to play, force your coach to play, force coaches, college coaches to recruit you? Be that good. That's the mindset you have to have. That's the mindset I adopt for myself. What the future hold for me? I mean, if I get signed, that's great. If I don't get signed, it's great also. It's immediate feedback. I learn from it. So no matter what, I have the right mindset that's gonna lead me to success no matter what. I know I'm gonna be successful. Even though I'm not where I'm at right now, I wake up every day like I am the person who is successful right now. Like I'm where I wanna be because I just have that mindset. And it's all about the mindset. My mindset was allowing me to be able to run a 4.340. I wasn't out of high school running 4.340s. I wasn't out of high school jumping 11-1 broad or having a 42-inch vert. I didn't have that. I wasn't born a freak athlete. I turned myself into one because I worked hard, I focused, I dedicated, I learned what I needed to, and I relentlessly put the work in each time. And that's what you guys should do. You guys should relentlessly put the work in. Now this is all I got for you guys. Just kind of sharing just a recap of my UFL experience, to try out and everything, kind of what to expect. And I like to be transparent with you guys because I brought you all along throughout the journey creating content. So I have to tell you, no matter if I ran a 4.3 or not, if I ran a 4.6, I still would have came on here and be like, hey, this is how it went. Because I'm be honest with you guys, like you're part of my journey, I'm part of yours. I'm here to help you. And you guys are also here to help me because I learn from you guys, believe it or not. Okay, this is all I got for you guys. It's your guy, KJ. If you want to know the preparation and workouts that I did to be able to run a 4.340 throughout this journey, because I've been training on my own. Like I really had no fancy facility, all this stuff like that. I've been training on my own, me, dolo, all by myself. So you want to know like the workouts I was doing there to run 11-1, be quick, shifty, run a 4.340, then watch this video right here because you kind of can see inside of how I train.